What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kings Court, presented to you by SactownRoyalty.com and presented to you and sponsored by RateCrushers.com. If you guys are looking for any type of insurance, whether it be motorcycle, car, leisure, renters, the brokers over at Rate Crushers have you covered. Everyone go to RateCrushers.com and let them know that the Kings Court sent you. Man, we got a big show today. It's the last show of the week. It's the Friday show as I brighten up the lighting in here a little bit. We're doing it live both on Twitter Spaces and on YouTube. We're giving away tickets to Saturday's game, tomorrow's game against the Miami Heat. That should be fun. That should be fun. We had about 45 people join in this raffle, so definitely want to do this again. Hopefully you guys will get more involved, continue sharing this show, hitting that like button. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe. That's how we grow. That's how we get the algorithm working in our way. And again, for all of your great content for covering the Kings, make sure you are going to SactownRoyalty.com. Great articles going up there with, my weekly column that comes out on Monday. Jordan's doing great work. Leo. We're covering this team well. This Kings team is getting covered well. I think we are covering the Kings better than they're playing on the court. Dare I say so myself. They are 0-4 to start the year off, and it's been extremely disappointing watching this team and seeing how they play and seeing that the offense that they're running is so confusing. I am blown away that the Kings are not playing to their strengths as a team. They're not nearly doing the De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis pick and roll, at least not as much as I thought we would see it. That was a 1-2 punch that everyone was excited to see, and we've been seeing more of the same old Kings type of offense. We've seen a lot of space and pace, play with tempo, something that we have noticed does not work. I get it. I understand what the Kings are thinking, right? We finally have the players to play that way. We have shooters. We have the ability to put up a lot of shots. But it's not working, and it's not translating into wins. Play to your strengths, which is that pick and roll. De'Aaron Fox is doing fine. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on De'Aaron Fox's play away from the turnovers, but turnovers comes from no ball movement, a lot of one-on-one play. And as you can tell by the title of this show here that I named it here on YouTube, the title that we put on the Twitter Spaces, if you guys haven't done so already, please go follow me on Twitter at VMCenter. And, of course, the site at Sacktown Royalty. We're doing the giveaway on the show today as people can continue to pile in. If you haven't done so already, I'll give you guys until the 7-minute mark of this show, which gives you guys about 4 more minutes to put it in if you guys want to enter the raffle. All you guys got to do is hit that subscribe button and follow at VMCenter. At Sacktown Royalty. We have 45 people's names here on this raffle. It's a click of a button and a name will appear. And it'll be very simple. Comment down below. Say Miami Heat. Just do it in the comment section. Just comment Heat. You will get a chance to win 2 tickets to Saturday's game against the Miami Heat. We have 45 names into this raffle now. I'll give you guys until the 7-minute mark of the show, which officially gives you, as of this point, 3 more minutes. But yeah, man, it was disappointing to watch what the Kings put on last night in terms of offensive flow, defensive flow. It was kind of one of those games where they seemed as if they were in it, but really they weren't in it. And I don't know what Mike Brown is really doing. I really don't. There are multiple times where he would try so many different forwards. We saw Moneki. We saw Chimezie Metu get an early call. Obviously, we're going to continue to see a lot of Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray, which is fine. I mean, you expect to see that. But just the early rotation switches between Monk and Herter, very little minutes, 15 minutes for a Davion Mitchell. Is anybody else surprised that Davion's not even really a part of this rotation at all? Like, not even really a little bit, right? All right. But I think we're good. Make it work. You guys are on Twitter. Do me a favor. That like, all you gotta do is hit that there on the Twitter Spaces show. If you're watching the show live here on YouTube or live on Spotify, be sure to click the link that below. Click that link and join our phone video chat. Appreciate the patience. I see you all. Look, I believe it. My mic probably is cutting out a little bit. It's screaming loud right now. I had to plug in a new one. Hopefully that fixes it. I'm hoping that it does. We'll see. But again, I don't know really what Mike Brown is doing. That's the big question mark to me. The rotation was ugly. The rotation was very questionable in terms of who was on the floor, the minutes that we're getting on the floor. And please comment coding if the mic's still cutting out on YouTube as bad as I think it is. I'm about to pull it up now to hear it a little bit. But am I the only one who's thinking that maybe Mike Brown doesn't understand his roster whatsoever? Like, that might be a real thing. Again, last season we saw once some bonus came over with Tyrese Halliburton in that Tyrese Halliburton trade, we saw Sabonis come over, that the 1-2 punch of Fox and Sabonis worked. Ranked third in the NBA in efficiency, and now we don't see it. One person has the ball, 4 out. Space and pace again. And again, it's shown that it's not effective in Sacramento. When he came over, I thought we were going to see a lot more Princeton offense. And I'm working on our article right now. It comes out in my weekly column again over at sacktownroyalty.com. And the one that I'm working on now is about Mike Brown and his early flow offense. So 4 years ago, he did a training seminar, and I've done a full breakdown on that with Coach Nick of B-Ball Breakdown, talking about how I believed he was going to bring the Princeton offense to Sacramento. And you guys can go check that out as well. But I'm rewatching it again just to kind of hear his staples in offense and what he likes to build an offense through. And again, it was space, pace, and 0.5. And a lot of the key things that I take away, and I don't want to give away the whole entire article in the column that I'm going to be doing, but a lot of it was allowing players to make instinctual moves and for him not to be a play caller. So he's really putting a lot of the offense in the hands of a De'Aaron Fox. And look, when you have players like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving as your go-to guys, maybe it works. He improved the Browns. He improved Cleveland Cavs in that way. Obviously, having LeBron there and then having Kyrie and improving their roster that way, and then having Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. But that doesn't always translate when you have a star in De'Aaron Fox, that hasn't really proven to be a star player. Hasn't shown tremendous high basketball IQ. Hasn't shown to be a leader. We haven't seen him do the things to where you should be willing to trust him to run an offense and make those, what he likes to call 0.5-second decisions. He wants you to have a half a second of a decision to make that move. It's his early flow offense. And on top of that, in that seminar, and why I bring that up is because he says it on three separate occasions that it takes time to learn this system. It takes time to learn how to do this because you need to rely on the players to make these decisions quickly. He wants the ball up the court with at least 20 seconds on the shot clock so you can get to a third and fourth option. The Kings aren't even doing that. When they start the game, this is what I want you guys to watch moving forward. When they start the game, the first 3 offensive sets, unless it's on a fast break, their first 3 offensive sets are actual plays. They're set plays. Ton of ball movement. You see off-ball movement. It's actually fundamental basketball. After those 3 plays, it's a lot of isolation. It's a lot of just one-on-one, one pass. That's it. Drive and kick. That gets old real fast, and especially if you're not the type of shooter that a Steph Curry is, or the type of athletic jumper that a Ja Morant or a Zion Williamson is, right? You have to be able to rely on the players to make decisions, but you also have to play to your strengths. And the strength, again, was that pick and roll, and we are not seeing that whatsoever. And now I get it. You don't want to take the ball out of Fox's hands, except for on certain plays. Like you'll see Fox give it to Herter just so he can get the ball back again in his spot. But why not do a high-end pick and roll? Have Sabonis meet him just under the half-court line and let Fox move downhill, then get the drive and kick. And when they do run that play, you see Keegan Murray slashing. You see a Harrison Barnes getting to the basket. Harrison Barnes finally woke up. You knew that was going to happen at some point. It just seems like the little things about the roster that was already working from last season that you thought they were building upon is now gone. It seems as if they are starting the year brand new. Now, I don't want to be premature and start like changing the mindset in where you think this Kings team can go. They still can become a play-in type of team, a playoff team. They're 0-4. When I did the schedule preview, I said there was coin flips between the Blazers game and this Memphis game. Coin flips. I had them at 2-3 at this point. 1-3 with 2-3 going into Miami. So I had them at 1-3 at this point on the show when I broke down the schedule. But they could have easily been 0-4. This has been a tough road, tough stretch of games to start the season. And they have an even bigger opponent to Miami. Against Miami here in Sacramento on Saturday. So it's just been disappointing to see, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Feel free to comment in the comment section below. If you're joining us on Twitter, please sure to go ahead and chime on in. You are more than welcome to hit that conversation button. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. When I go on Facebook and everything, I think I'm in a lot of the groups there on Facebook. The cool thing is that you guys like to still say, the few of you, I should say, like to say that at least they can go, 72-4 or whatever the record is. 78-4. Hey, there's hope alive. I just don't think playoffs are out of it. I think it does take time to build an identity and build an offense that works. But at the same time, you have to, if this was a playoff year, you would think that you were going to be building off what showed that work. But at the same time, Mike Brown wasn't here for that. And maybe we're not taking that into consideration. I just don't want this to be already an early development year where we're saying the Kings needed a leader. They wanted someone that can come in and develop this talent so that next year they can be ready. I didn't view it in that light. I viewed this as a team really fighting to become a playoff team this season. And again, I'm not giving up hope on that. I know it sounds that way because the losses hurt. I mean, it's 0-4. It's so early. But this was against playoff caliber teams. We're seeing the Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trail Blazers, Los Angeles Clippers. It's not like they had a walk in the park. They had to come out and they had to fight. And again, the Miami Heat are not going to be an easy out either. Speaking of the Miami Heat, I think this would be a good time to give Saturday. Good. We're giving away two tickets to the Miami game. Section 207, row A. Or good. They're very good.
Look, we're going to be doing it again. Do me. But for that, you are subscribe, hit that like button. If you're on Twitter, follow that are at not the one. But in 3, 2, 1, the winner of the 2 tickets to the versus Sacramento Kings on Saturday, tomorrow, comes to us from Twitter. It's going to be Gonzo. The winner, he messaged out onto Twitter. So shout out to Gonzo for the win. Round of applause for Gonzo. As well, just to let you know that you were the winner of the tickets. Guys, we are going to be doing this again multiple times throughout the season. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Well, there's space. All of you guys enjoy, which is great. You guys are Twitter Spaces or here. The winner got the applause to you one more time. Congratulations. I love the fact that you guys. That's fun. Gift for you guys to continue helping you guys have done. You know, it's still that I'm a part of Sacramento. It's a full wrap around. I've been doing this show for a long time. So many different phases of this show. And now we're working. We can buy tickets, make sponsors with Green Crushers, and be a part of the SB Nation, Sacramento crew, and everything like that. And for those that reached out, also, I got this announcement here. For those who reached out about that, listen only to the podcast version. I know you guys haven't seen that, but it is coming back. We are working hard in the working. So what you guys will do is you guys will look up the Royalty Show. That's where you're gonna find the official. I want to continue to hear you guys' thoughts throughout the entire weekend. The spread for the Kings versus the Heat should be coming out later today, which is Friday. I would assume the Kings are right around 4.5 underdogs. I thought they were 2-3. I thought they were gonna beat the Blazers. You guys roll with me. Best bet is congratulations to all of you guys. To continue reviewing the game. Interviews coming next week. I have lined up Leo Bias from Cowbell Kingdom. I'm going to try and get James Ham back on from the Kings beat. They're 20. I mean, some people that Danny Moran. We covered the trailer. And two recording buckets and just that's gonna be my time, guys. Again, the announced I the winner already for the tickets. You guys are coming in late. So we'll be at right around 45 people. Gonzo was the one that he follows on Twitter follower Gonzo. It's going to be Gonzilla for the winner of the 2 tickets. I'll be reaching out to you soon. If you guys haven't done so already, again, follow at BM Center on Twitter, at Sacktown Royalty. That's the website. If you guys are looking for any type of coverages, reach out to the sponsor, RateCrushers.com, as they're knocking off the competition by 35%. They're beating them up. You guys go there and check them out. And until next time, Sacramento Kings will be back on Monday, 1 p.m.